Welcome back. The Civil Aviation Department has come under fire in a value for money report by the Audit Commission in relation to its new headquarters near the airport. The department was criticized for failing to report changes to the construction area and some of the facilities to relevant authorities for prior approval. Joel De Silva reports.
The construction of a new Civil Aviation Department headquarters to meet surging air traffic up to 2025 was approved back in 2008. The project was completed 4 years later within the expected budget of nearly $2 billion. But this year's audit report shows inadequacies in the reporting of changes to the project and in the purchase of equipment to relevant authorities for prior approval. While plans for a 22,775 square meter net operational floor area received initial approval, there were failures in reporting plans for a 1,500 square meter area reserved for expansion after 2025. The Legislative Council, as an example, was not specifically informed about this in the department's funding request. And because of this, no plans were made in the building design for this area to be used in the meantime. Moreover, 3 facilities in the new headquarters were not built in accordance with approved plans. These include toilet and shower facilities in the director's office, restrooms for accident investigators, and a viewing gallery that was converted without approval into a multi-function room for meeting and recreational purposes. The Civil Aviation Department also failed to seek permission beforehand from the Financial Services and Treasury Bureau to buy over $67 million worth of security and electronic systems. In addition, it purchased 143 LCD monitors when it had been authorized to buy only 50. The audit report also slams the department's decision to go ahead with the purchase of a $101.4 million precision runway monitor radar, despite 2 consultancy studies indicating that the system could not be fully implemented in Hong Kong. At the time, it went ahead with the plan, hoping that future technological developments would eventually allow for the system to come into full use. These advances never happened, and the radar was used only in a supplemental role and eventually put on standby mode nearly 5 years later. Joel De Silva, TVB News.
The number of elderly people who die while on the waiting list for subsidized long-term care services is on the rise. The latest Audit Commission report reveals the failures of government efforts to cope with an aging population. The number of elderly who passed away while on the central waiting list for residential care services shot up from between 4,000 and 4,500 before 2010 to 5,700 in the past year. An aging population has meant surging demand for subsidized care. But for the past 14 years, the number of places at care homes has increased by a mere 20%. At present, there are over 30,000 people on the central waiting list, with average waiting periods of up to 3 years. The report also points to problems in the elderly assessment system. 36 people out of 2,700 accredited assessors did 70% of the work between June 2013 and June 2014.
Scientists say European comet lander Philae has sniffed the presence of organic molecules containing the carbon element that is the basis of life on Earth. It happened before the probe's primary battery ran out and the lander shut down. A full analysis of the molecules from Comet 67P is still underway. Scientists are excited about the possibility the mission might help confirm that comets brought the building blocks of life, including water, to Earth. Scientists have also raised hopes that as Philae nears the sun in the months ahead, its solar panel-powered battery will recharge. That would also allow the first spacecraft to touch down on a comet to send more scientific data back to Earth. Since landing on the comet Wednesday, Philae has sent back reams of data that scientists are eagerly examining. And I'm eagerly waiting to hear what you have for us in sports today, Chris.
Let's get to it then. Funny moments at the final media day before Sunday's clash in Cotai 2. Chinese boxer Zhu Shiming noticed for the first time that his Thai opponent bears a striking resemblance to Manny Pacquiao, who headlines the card. So we'll be fighting for the 6th time in Macau and remains on track for a professional world title. The two-time Olympic gold medalist made his pro debut less than 2 years ago. In the NBA, the defending champion San Antonio Spurs beat LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers 92-90. James scored only 15 points. Ageless wonder Tim Duncan had 19 points and 10 rebounds for the Spurs. Meanwhile, the top two teams in the East and West met in Toronto. Jameson Wong has highlights.
Raptors taking on the short